my goodness, what a day it's already been, hasn't it? I am saying hello to those of you who are new and saying hello again to those I saw earlier, right? So it's great to be with you, and we're very excited to be in our new studio this week. A lot of fun things have been happening here at Girlfriends, and we're happy to have you be a part of it. So what are we doing today? Let's see. Kathy, hello, welcome. Hi, Vicki and Carla. Good to see you both as well. We are doing sew along right now for the next several weeks on Fridays, right here at the same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon Mountain Time. We are going to go through and take a deeper look into Quilting Through the Seasons. Now, I hope from where we started that you've gotten your base quilt done. Please tell me your base quilt is done or is really close. And if it's not, I don't want you to fret. It's all good. You know, what is slow but steady progress, feet headed in the right direction, eye on the prize, right? But that is where I want you to be. But in a real world, sometimes it might not be where you're at, and that's okay too. So don't you fear. I'm here to help you every step of the way. And all of these classes have been recorded, so you can go back and watch at any time. I see Doris and Lainey are together. I love when the two of you get together and are sewing. How fun is that? And Kim, it's great to see you from Sandy, Utah as well. Dee, always good from the Shire to see you. I mean, you're right, Kim. This elephant is still pretty big, right? But again, one chunk at a time. You got this. I believe in you. So today, we're going to go into doing the panels. All right. Kate looks like she's got her base quilt done. Way to go, my friend. The panels are really fun. And so these are so cute. I'm going to show you them up close here in just a minute. But it's done in several different hoopings, and that is what our focus is going to be on today. Now, some of you might be a little confused thinking, wait, Kris, I thought we were talking about pennants today. It's because everything got pushed back a week. So pennants will be next Friday. You can count on that. But today we are focusing in on the panels. So what am I talking about? Let's take a closer look. I've got some of them already stitched out so we can kind of have a goal as to what we're trying to accomplish. Let's take a closer look at the small panels first. Okay, so we've got spring is in the air, hello summer, hello pumpkin, and snow place like home. How stinking cute are those? So you can see here that you have some pieced blocks that have been put together, and those have been pieced on the embroidery machine, which is pretty awesome. You're also going to notice that it has some quilting on there. The cool thing about this quilting when it comes time to doing these little borders on here is that the quilting is actually built into the design. So we don't have to bring in a separate background quilting file when it comes time to doing these. You can see the cute little leaves right here and pumpkins along here. So those are all stitched within the one file. All right. So these also, you can see, have little buttonholes. And the buttonholes are for being able to actually slide through a seam ripper, which we'll go over today. And you can actually button them right onto your quilt. And it makes it so that they can be interchangeable. We'll also talk about the importance of using the right coordinating thread color with the fabric that it is in conjunction with, because if I were to use white in each of these corners and continue the white in these corners, then you would definitely see that buttonhole stand out. We really don't want it to stand out. We want it to kind of sink into the background, right? So that's why it's important to change thread colors. We'll kind of go into a little more detail on that here in just a little bit. But those are the small panels. Pretty cute, right, JW? Absolutely. And then let's take a look at some of the larger ones that are completed. This one we have the fall, and this is a cute little pumpkin that's got, you know, the flexi foam in it. So if you could, you know, just touch and feel through the screen, you would be able to see and feel that this has a little bit of dimension on the pumpkins, which are really, really fun. Also notice that those little borders, they're going to be stitched on and stitched out separately, and then we add them on afterwards with the sewing machine. Let's take a look at the little spring one as well. Spring has 4 cute little appliques. It's got some background quilting going on here, and then you have the borders as well going around here. So again, you'll also notice that in the corners are buttonholes. Have any of you done the buttonholes yet? They are so much fun. You're going to absolutely love the way that Kimberbell has digitized the buttonholes on this for the corners. It makes it so simple, so easy to do. You're gonna be amazed. If you haven't done them yet, I think you're gonna really enjoy this project. It's the same way they did, for those of you who are doing like save the date pillows, those buttonholes are the same way there. And it just doesn't get any easier than doing a buttonhole on an embroidery machine. Am I right? So that's pretty fun. Again, those buttonholes are there. They serve a purpose. It's that so that when we cut through them, you have an opening, and now you have the buttons on your base quilt, and you can just switch out for every season, which is pretty fun. All right, so we've talked about those two in class today. I'm going to go through with you together. We're going to do the summer large panel. And then if we've got some time, we'll see how we're doing on time today. I don't want to keep you too long, but we may have time to talk about the winter panel as well, because I know that some of you have been wondering about how the ice skates work. And let me tell you, that's going to blow you away as well. It's pretty incredible how those ice skates come together. It's when I first put it together, I was just like, my mind was like, pow! I couldn't believe that Kimberbell had come up with this way of doing the ice skates. Have any of you out there who's watching, have you done the ice skates yet? And if you have, tell me about your experience. I also want to hear about your experience with the buttonholes. So tell us in the comments what that has been for you. Also, because we're live, this is no longer a pre-recorded like everything leading up until now with the base quilt. But because we're live, that gives you an opportunity to ask me any question you want. As long as it's not too crazy, right? I don't know. I'm an open book. You all know that. I'll answer any question. Well, almost any question you have. So Abby's whispering in my ear. She wants to know what my social security number is. I might have to draw the line there, right? Love you, girl. Let's see. Brandy said, yes, it went together beautifully. Buttonholes were easy because of the save the date pills, right? So simple, Brandy. You're exactly right on that. Linda said the skates were a little tricky for her, but the photos helped. Absolutely. I would agree with that too. It really is incredible the way their minds think. So let's go ahead. Let's get started. I'm going to grab my book here. And if you're following along with your instruction book, would you please open up to page 62? Let's take a closer look at where we're beginning. And again, in this session today, I'm going to be looking at the large panel borders. And it says here that all large panel borders can be made by following these same instructions. So we make a set of borders for each season, of course, using different fabrics and embroidery files for each. And you can see that those are right here. And are we able to get just a titch closer shot on this one right here? Because I want to make sure, and again, I hope you're all following along in your books with me as well, that part A is making the long border strips for the top and bottom. So when we talk about top and bottom, this is what I'm referring to. Top, bottom. Okay, those are longer. This one's on the side are smaller. So these are part A, these are part B. Okay, and then part B is making the shorter strips for the left and the right sides of the panel. Now let's take a look at where we have, it says spring, and then summer, fall, and winter. All right, we're going to take an up close of this. Summer. I actually have already stitched out part A for us today. So let's take a look at those. They are already completed. Okay, these long borders are. And then together, we're going to do part B. Now, if you'll notice that my diagram right here follows the exact same color arrangement that I have right here. So it starts out with the number 1 spot, which is brown, brown. Then we have the white background with the little strawberries. We move on to the green, 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 yellow, yellow, pink, pink, and brown, brown. So you can see that I have followed exactly in that order. Now, if you by chance get them mixed up, please don't fret. It's all good. If the white were up here and the yellow were down here, would it make that much of a difference? No. But the one thing that you want to make sure is constant is you want the brown and the brown to be on top and bottom, because you've cut out 2 different pieces of fabric, of the same fabric, I should say, 2 times. And so you do need that on the top and bottom. Everything else in between, no big deal, right? If it's changed up. So I've already stitched out, again, like I said, part A. And now let's go ahead and move on to part B. So let's take a look at where we're at here. If I move down, it tells me part B and it gives me the fabric measurements, which I've already cut out. And I'm going to be hooping a light mesh cutaway stabilizer. All right. Now I've done part A, so I can skip all of that. And I can move over to part B. And part B, I'm on page 64. Again, if you're following along with me in your book, you should have that out in front of you. Take notes if you need to, but part A is where we're going to next. All right, now for part B, I'm also looking for the file. It says spring, summer, fall, winter. Today we're focusing on summer. My goal for all of you, and I hope that you can if you can keep on to this and hold on to this goal, you're going to be moving right along with me at a great pace. We're going to focus on 1 today, and then your goal this week is to finish all of the remaining 3 seasons just for the panels. Okay, one step at a time. All right, now some people have chosen that they're going to go, they're going to do just 1 season completely at a time and then go back and do another season. My personal preference and my recommendation would just be do all 4 seasons at once. Just focus on 1 technique at the same time. So if I'm doing the panels, I'm going to do the panels all this week for spring, summer, winter, and fall, and call it good. Because if you're like me, you have the best of intentions that when winter comes, you're going to do the winter. And I have a feeling that that might not happen because there's always other projects that come up first, right? So my suggestion is to focus in on the panels this week and do all 4 seasons at once. Of course, you do you, but that's just my personal feeling there. Let's just get it all done at the same time. And then you can check that off your list and enjoy the process at the same time. Okay, so I've got a question here that just came up. Dee wants to know, how long have I identified as Shrek? If you know, you know. That is back to Common Soul this morning. Thanks, Dee, for the laugh. Shrek, right there. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay. So I've got my 5x7 hooped with light mesh cutaway stabilizer. This is what I enjoy using and what Kimberbell prefers and recommends for using throughout this quilt. So I hope you are stocked up on that, right? And the first thing we're going to do is stitch out the placement line for the batting. All right, so let's head over to the machine here. And we're gonna scooch on over. All right, and I'll just slide this into my machine. I'm actually going to change my thread color out right now because I want to change it out to black just for purposes of the video. I want you to be able to see what's happening. Now, if you were doing this at home, yeah, I would not recommend black. Although, it does pretty good. I'm not showing, but, to be safe, I would use a light cream or something like that. But again, because we're on video, I'm going to use black just so you can see it better. And let's go ahead and take a look. Can we get up on the screen? Aha, there we go. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to go back to find my new designs here because I had just finished stitching out the bigger ones. So I'm going to go to embroidery, find my USB. If it was plugged in. Where did my USB stick go? Oh, hold please. Here we go, in my computer. Ta-da, amazing how that works. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to plug it into the machine. There we go. I think I'm going to have better luck this time. All right, Shelly says she hasn't started, but she thinks she's going to do the cutting this weekend. Good job, Shelly. Yeah, it's one of those things you just got to jump right in and just get going on it, right? All righty, so let's see. I need to find, I'm pulling up 815, the 5x7 large. Make sure you're pulling up the right one because there's one that has 4 boxes and then this other one has 6 boxes. So when you compare the two, make sure you're pulling up the correct one. We're doing the short size right now. And I'm going to hit set and embroidery. Okay, like I mentioned before, this one does have the background quilting designs already a part of this design. So we don't have to do 2 different steps on this. This is just where we're going to start. I'll go ahead and put my foot down and let's watch this stitch out. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? This is the beauty of doing it live. Okay, I just realized something. I grabbed my wrong hoop. Now I had 2 hoops already put together, one that had wash away and one that has light mesh cutaway. I'm going to stop her right now and make sure I go to the light mesh cutaway because that would be no bueno if I did wash away. Yeah, right? All right, let's go ahead and trim my threads. Please tell me I'm not alone in this. Have any of you ever used a wash away when it should have been a cutaway? Oh, I had that happen once. Yeah, it was not good. See, you can see it happens to all of us. All right, let me go ahead and go back to the beginning. No big deal. No harm, no foul. There we go. I'm on light mesh cutaway, not wash away. Oh, that would not be fun. All right. Linda said she did all the panels at once because it was the same process over and over. And that really, there's a huge benefit to that, right, Linda? Because you can, sometimes you just get in that mode and you just want to keep going and going and going and not having to rethink through a few things like that. So that's a good idea. Just do it all at once while your brain is set on that. Okay. So you can see here that the 2 borders are stitching out. Again, this is the placement line for where to place my batting. Now that those have been stitched out, I'll go ahead and take my batting and place it directly over top. All right, just like that, making sure it's all covered. Put my foot down and begin to stitch. Dee is loving the fruit quilting. It's so cute. It would be adorable on a tea towel. Yes, it sure would, Dee. And you know, that's the fun thing about so many Kimmerbell designs too, is that I always like to think beyond what the project actually is. I want to get the most for my money. So I want to be able to use this same design, but in different ways. And it can make a really big difference. So say you want to add like this cute little border strip to the bottom of a tea towel. How fun would that be? or just skip ahead to where the background quilting is and add the background quilting just to the tea towel. Would be super fun. So great suggestion for sure. Okay. So this is stitching out twice, which is nice because it's going to hold the batting down, not have any problems with it popping when I go to cut. And there we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so now that that's done, I will head back over here to my cutting mat and trim this excess batting away. I'll grab my little scissors here. And let's go find our little duck bills, I think, are what I'm going to use on this one. Now, those of you who are new to duck bills, the duck bill is usually facing the applique. So that's just a little tip for you there. And we'll trim this away. Okay, that part's done, and now I just need to get in the middle. And right here. All right, so looks pretty good. Let's take a look at our instructions, make sure we're all in the same place together. I just finished on page 64. Now, something to, this would be a good time to remind you of something here. In these instructions, it's going to look a little bit different than what colors I'm using because the instructions goes through the spring design. So when you see purple and green and those colors right there, that's because it comes from the spring design. But if you're trying to figure out what colors go in what order, just go back a page to page 62 and you're going to follow the colors that are outlined right here. So in part B, we've got those colors 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. Does that make sense? Hopefully everyone's good there. All right, so I just finished cutting the batting and now I'm on page 65. We're going to stitch the piecing template. So that means I'm going to head back over here and just stitch out this little template here. This is going to show me where all of my little squares of fabric are going to go. So I like to think of it almost like a road map. You know, I'm going, okay, where does this piece go and this piece? It's like a puzzle or a template or a road map. There's several ways I like to, you know, just talk about this and refer to it. So you can see here that those little boxes are stitching out, those little squares. Okay, one side is done, and now it's time to go over to the second side. Okay, I'm going to grab my book again because again, I want to point your direction towards page 62. Again, I'm looking at summer, and the first one I'm going to put down is the white with the strawberries. So I pull out my white with the strawberries. I'm going to place it right side up over top of that first section right there. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. White fabric, placing over both of them at the same time. Okay, so that is the first one. Now, always remember the first one goes right side up. After that, everything goes right side down, just like if we were piecing on a sewing machine. There's no difference there. All right. Okay, so now that that's been done, I can go ahead and remove the hoop from the machine and trim above that top line. And I'm just going to keep it right here. Grab my little snippers here from Kimberbell and just quickly trim the excess fabric away. Okay, just like that. Now, you can see here that the excess fabric has been trimmed away. So this has not only been a tack down stitch for me, but this also has become the trim line, which I trimmed that away. And the third part of this process is it's also become a placement line. What am I referring to? Well, let's take a look. My next piece of fabric that needs to go down is green. But again, like in sewing, we put right sides together. So it's no different than a sewing machine. We're going to put right sides together, and I know exactly where to place it because I'm going to place it right along that placement stitch line. So I'll go ahead and flip this over, place it right there, just kind of centering it, then push this back into the machine and begin stitching. At this point, what I need to do is flip this over and I can begin stitching again. But there's one thing I like to do before that, and that is I could take like a small mini iron if I wanted to and place that inside the hoop and press that over. But you know me, if you've been with Girlfriends for a while, all of us instructors here love, love, love the fabric folding pin. This is from Clover. It is a vial filled with water, a few little drops of a fabric softening solution. All I'm going to do is just squeeze that down all along that seam line. Now, when I flip it over, it is a great alternative to actually having a sewing machine. All right, or excuse me, an iron. I don't want to have an iron out, and this is really convenient. I just go ahead and flip that over, and it's ready to now have the tack down stitch to keep that one in place. Okay, so let's go ahead and stitch that out. While that's stitching out, how many of you have one of these Clover fabric folding pins? Tell us in the comments about what your experience has been. Do you absolutely love it as well? Let us know. Okay, so that has done being stitched, and now I have plenty of fabric here to be able to trim along that line. So remember, this was a tack down line. This has also become a trim line. And thirdly, it's going to become my placement line of where to place my next fabric. All right, so here's my fabric. It's the yellow piece I'm pulling together. I have this right side up right now. It's going to go right side down over top and place it along the line. All right, so is everyone following along okay so far? How are we doing? Okay, yes, Kim absolutely loves it. Kate does as well. Jamie just used hers last night. Cindy said when she remembers she has it, it is amazing. I can certainly understand that too, Cindy. And then Dee said the folding pin is one of her top 10 tools. I would absolutely agree with that, Dee, for sure. And Vicki, that's a great idea. She actually uses it with water around when she's doing wash away. So if you've got a wash away stabilizer going on another project and you're wanting to get the little edges washed away, that's a great idea, Vicki, to be able to use it to do that. Kathleen loves it when working with half square triangles. So fast. Absolutely. I love that Brandy has 4 of them. Brandy, I bet a few of us can relate to that one as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and trim this one up as well. We have one more to go. Oh, Diane says hers just arrived yesterday. Oh, Diane, you're going to love it. All right, so I'm going to take this last piece and I'm going to, again, put it right side down. Get that baby in the hoop and into the machine, and here we go, ready to rock and roll. Okay, one more time, I'll go ahead and take my fabric folding pin, just run it along that seam super quick. I am going to have to pull it out a little bit in order to get to it, right? But that's okay. Again, pin, run it along the seam. There we go. And just open that up. Okay, so I've got all 4 fabric pieces there. Now what's going to happen is it's going to do the tack down stitch to just bring it all together. Make sure that everything stays in place. Okay, so again, I'm using a dark thread, but you could use any color you wanted. Okay, there we go. So you can see that's been done. And now let's go ahead and take a look at our machine once again, because I'm going to hit OK. There we go. Up on the screen here, I don't know how well you can see it because it's kind of light, but you're going to notice that this is now the background quilting. Those cute little strawberries are going to stitch right out. Now, obviously, I'm not going to want to use black thread for this, right? You could, but I don't think it's going to look that great. So I am going to change my thread color at this point. In the book, it recommends white, but I'm actually going to use like a pale yellow on mine. So sometimes I like the background quilting to just blend right in. Sometimes I like a little bit of variance. It just depends, you know. So sometimes if it's too dark, it actually kind of, you know, takes away from the design. So I don't want that to happen. But again, the background quilting is so cute. I want it to show up as well. So for me, I'm going to use a little bit lighter yellow. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and that's been switched out. Let's stitch this one out. Okay. Hey, Jamie looks like she did 2 striped blocks last night. Nice. Good job, Jamie. She's getting excited to pull that ladder out of the box. I love that. How are we doing so far? Any questions up to this point? Let me know. That's what I'm here for, is to help answer any of your questions. All right. No, we're good. Are you doing good? Hopefully. These are really easy to come together, really fun. And you're making 2 of them at the same time, which is nice, right? This is so fun to watch stitch out. You just love watching it. Are you mesmerized like I am when it comes to the background quilting? It blows me away. I love it. All righty, there we go. The quilting is done, and we have one final step. Now, on this step, I'm also going to just change out my thread color simply for the video purposes, but you could keep the same thread color you currently have in. There's no need to change out unless you have difficult time seeing where the line is going to go. Then you certainly could change it out for a darker thread. But this final stitch is going to actually stitch out my trim cutting lines. Okay, so that's kind of a big deal. We want to know exactly how to trim this baby up. All right, let's go ahead and hit go. See what happens. It's going to do a trim line on both sides as well as down the center. Jamie thinks that the background quilting is so beautiful it might be some of her favorites. But I love the caveat at the end, Jamie. She says, but I say that every time. I'm right there with you, sister, for sure. Okay, let's see. We're all done. We're going to get the little finished embroidering, you know, little jingle, ding, ding, ding. And then the clouds open and the light comes through and all is well in the world, right? Because we got through that with no issues whatsoever. All right, friends, let's head back over to the cutting table and let's see how to trim this one up. So if you're following along with me in the instruction book, I want you to go to page 65. All right, page 65 is where we're at. And it has part B trimming instructions right here. You're going to cut along widthwise the trimming guides as shown in red, cut along lengthwise in blue, and you're good to go. Now, that was super simple, right, on the short ones. There's just one difference. If you were doing the long ones, they don't have the trimming guides for all four sides. They just have it for two sides. So I want to point something out real quick to you. That's this. These were my long ones. What I had to do was actually find the center, which, you know, there's 3 blocks here and 3 blocks here. So this is my center. And then I had to measure over with a ruler 3 3/4 inches from the center this way, 3 3/4 inches from the center this way, and then I trimmed along there. Super simple. It's all outlined in the book with great photographs, so you'll see that there. But on the short ones, we do have the opportunity of using our trim guides exactly as they are. So you can see on all of the different sides that I have a trim guide there. Okay, so I'm just going to take my rotary cutter and trim away. There we go. And again, you're just cutting directly on the line. That's why if you had, you know, a black thread, for example, it wouldn't be a big deal, because if by chance there were any threads that were still caught in there, it would be covered by the seam allowance. So if you need that contrasting thread in order to see better, definitely do it. All right. Looks like I need to just trim just a titch over here. Let's see. Boom. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have now all 4 of our borders put together. How is it going for all of you? How are you feeling? Any questions on how these borders come together? Aren't they cute? I'm excited about this one. I think the fabrics are to die for. You know me and strawberries. Love, love, love the strawberries. So pretty fun, easy, straightforward. Any questions there? Okay. Again, if you need something, let me know. Let's move on to, we're going to set those aside, and I'm going to toss my trash right behind me. Why not? I don't know where a trash can is around here, but eventually I'll get to it. My little earpiece keeps coming out. Jane says, easy borders, love them. Yeah, super simple, right, Jane? All right, so we've done the borders, easy, check. Checkity, check, check, check. All right, let's move forward in the book then to page 69. Now, on page 69, you're going to see right here at the very top that there's something that is stated in yellow. We know that if it's in yellow, that we need to make sure and pay close attention to it. So it says, complete the large panel summer borders before beginning. Well, ta-da! We did, right? We did it. We've got our 4 panels done. Boom, bada bing. we can move on. So now we're ready to stitch out these adorable strawberries. So what do we need to do for this? Well, first of all, we need to bring in a background quilting file. And you truly could use any background quilting file you want. This one's got plaids in here, kind of going crisscross. I chose to use I think I put in a fruit one. We'll take a look, but it doesn't matter. You just need to do that 6x6 size, okay? So we're going to bring in background quilting first. Number one, first into the machine. We bring in the background quilting, we bring in the applique to go on top of it. Now, if you have followed along with previous videos that we've been doing, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You're saying, okay, I got to do background quilting first. Yep, got it, Kris. Background quilting first, then I bring in the applique. So let's, I'm also going to use a little bit larger hoop for this. I'm going to bump it up to an 8x12 on this one. I'm going to have plenty of space, but it needs to be larger than a 6x6. I could have done like an 8x8. If you got an 8x8, you could do that too. But I'm going to grab my hoop for that. It's right over here. And it has already been hooped up with light mesh cutaway stabilizer. Okay. Oh, I forgot about that, Dee. You're right. The plaid is built into the file. Now, how cool is that? It's been a minute since I made my panels. We don't have to worry about that. The plaid is built in. Thanks, Dee. Okay, so let me go back to, no wonder I was having trouble finding that plaid. All right, here we go. This one is even easier now. All right, here we go. 5x7 large. There, You know, sometimes I wonder about myself. Here we go. Here we go. Easy, easy peasy. So we've got the plaid built in. Now, if you didn't have a plaid built in, then that's when you bring in the background quilting files. Now, you're right. She says, I know, because I almost said the same thing, because I think you know why that is, Dee? We are so used to doing those separate, right? We're so used to doing them separate. So why would we do anything different? Well, because Kimberbell has made this so fun for us, because it's an embellishment. And that's where my head goes to, is because, okay, this is a great learning opportunity for all of us. When it came to doing the main quilt, okay, the main quilt that you see behind me, the base quilt, that is where we needed background quilting files, right? And up until now, we have done the background quilting files all along, right? Because some people will choose to do it, you know, send their quilt off to a long armor. Some will do it on their own sewing machine or their own long arm. Some people choose to have the background quilting. Some people choose not to have the background quilting. And so we're so used to that, and we're so accustomed to that with Kimberbell files, that when we have an embellishment, that, wait a minute, we don't have to do a background quilting? No, on these embellishments you don't, because it's built in. That's pretty cool. All right, so glad that we figured that one out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit embroidery. That is fun. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and place my hoop in the machine. Jamie's glad she's watching this before she does, because she would have done the same thing. We are auto-programmed to always bring in the background quilting, but we don't have to on this one. Pretty cool. All right, I have my black thread in. Again, I have this in just for video purposes only. You can choose any thread color you would like. All right, I'm going to grab my fabrics. Oh, guess what else? Bobbin thread is almost empty. All right, we might as well change it now, shall we? Let's do it. If you see on the screen, let's take a look at my machine, because I always crack up when I see this little thing come up. The bobbin thread is almost empty, and it's got a little sad face. That's your like, oh yeah, I'm so sad. It's almost empty kind of face, right? But, oh, this is when the heavens have opened, folks, because I got pre-wounds here. Never fear. We got a good pre-wound. That's a little blessing right there. But I laugh when I see the bobbin thread is almost empty with a sad face, because I've said this before, but I truly believe this. This is where I want to do a program. I want Baby Lock to create something, because I'm not smart enough to create something like this. But I have the idea. I just need someone to program it. Where I'm going to put my bobbin in here while we're talking. I think that when the bobbin thread is almost empty, or if a thread breaks and I get that little message with a sad face, I think it should say, "But you're still a good person, Kris," or "You're still a wonderful person, Cindy. Dee, you're beautiful the way you are. And Jamie, you're a wonderful mother," right? We should have these like positive affirmations that tell us these things, instead of just a sad face. I believe in you. All right, I digress. All right, here we go. Oh, and of course, it should also have the exclamation point attached to it. You guys all know what the exclamation point is, right? You go like this, and then boom, 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 exclamation point. You are still an amazing person. Boom, boom. Just saying. I think there's a market for it, folks. All right, let me grab my stuff over here. Are you with me on that? What else? What other positive affirmation would you put out there? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear from you. You're looking good. Oh, I know. How about this one? You are looking 20 pounds lighter today, girlfriend. That's what I want. Oh, okay. Batting. Batting's going to go down over the placement line. Okay. Oh, come on. You guys don't have some positive affirmations? I want to hear it. You is smart. You is important. You is pretty. You is all the things, right? Oh, you've got this. Okay, I like that one. That's a good one, Vicki. Yeah. Kate likes that one. It's about the 20 pounds lighter. There you go. I'm with you on all the themes. Okay, you are amazing. I like that, Jo Marie. That's a good one. Sometimes we all need those little positive affirmations, even at our machines. And then when you get mad at yourself and you're like, dang it, why did I not think of that? It's going to say to you, because you've had a lot on your mind lately. It's okay, right? That's what it will tell us. All right. Let's go ahead and trim this one up. Here's our batting again. Man, look at my sewing table. Does this look like any of your homes? Holy smokes. I got stuff everywhere. All right. Yeah, there you go, Carla. You're doing a great job. There you go. You are special. I like that one too, Lainey. That's a good one. All right. All right, here we go. All right, so we've got our background batting on. And now we need to get ready to stitch on the fabric. So let's come back over here and do that. This is going to, now I'm going to double check and make sure I'm thinking about this correctly, okay? Because you know me. Let's see, we stitched down we trimmed, stitched background, stitch the background. Okay, I wanted to make sure there was indeed a background placement line. Yes, there is. All right, let's do this. We've got a line that's showing us where to place the fabric. Now, you and I both know that there is plenty of fabric here, right? But Kimber Bell is so generous with making sure that all the steps are provided for us, that if you wanted to, you could skip this step because you've got plenty of fabric, you know it's going over, but, or just stitch it out just for funsies. All right, now make sure, let me show this up here. Make sure that your background fabric has the backing, the fusible backing already put on the back. You will definitely want that because this is a very light color. I mean, it's white, obviously, and that's going to help prevent some show through. And, you know, it's something we like to do all the time when it comes to our background fabrics. We want that for sure. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Dee. It's often much easier to give others grace before ourselves, and that couldn't be more true. I totally agree with you on that. All right. This is, again, just stitching it out. There's no need to trim your fabrics at this point. We're not going to do that. I am going to change out my thread color, though. This was the black, and I'm going to change it out for yellow. Kimberbell gives a suggestion of white, so it's totally up to you. But I'm going to see this cute plaid design stitch out in front of me. All right. Foot down and go. Let's see the magic happen. Okay, well, that's stitching out. Let's find out, did any of you watch last night's Swig Night? Let me know in the comments if you had a chance to watch Swig Night last night. You can still watch the replay. It's not too late. And we have some amazing deals going on with our baby lock machines right now through the 31st of May. But if you did watch last night, would you put in the comments something maybe new that you learned, or something you were intrigued by, or something that maybe you didn't know or that you're excited about? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because we love to learn from each other, right? Oftentimes, you know, we'll be sharing something with our audience and someone will say, oh, well, I use the guide beam in this way or in that way. And you go, oh my goodness, I didn't know you could do that, you know? So it's always fun to learn from all of you too. That this is a learning community, and I learn from you just as much as you might learn from me. And that's a good thing. So I want to see what are some of the things maybe that you picked up that you didn't know before, or were good reminders. So Jo Marie said, some amazing deals, wonderful tips. Good. And Jane looks like she did, and Kim did. Kim was saying the auto buttons on the screen for the back stitch and the beam. Yeah, those are nice, right, Kim? And it is nice and convenient to be able to hurry and just press that button and have all those things programmed for you. It's pretty awesome. All right, I am going to trim my thread again and just switch it out again, just so that you can see the thread color better. Okay, so the next stitch out we're doing is a placement line for the crate. And I've got black thread in here. Again, choice is yours, but I will point out this. Take a look at this. I have pre-cut all of my pieces. That's a big deal. When it comes time to go into your embroidery machine, you want to make sure that everything is cut out and ready to go. You will be miles ahead of what you need to do if you'll have everything pre-cut. All right. Oh, thank you, Dee. She's lucky and swig because she said it's a much better way to learn about the machines rather than just reading a spec sheet. I think you're right on that, Dee, because I know if you're like me, I learned so much better. I'm a visual learner. Okay, I'm placing my fabric over top of that placement line. Okay, so I'm just chatting with you like if we were in the same room together, right? While I'm stitching this out. So I think that I'm a visual learner. I like to see things done rather than reading the spec sheet. So I hope that you feel the same way, and I hope it was a good night for all of you as well. So, oh, Jo Marie liked where I used the phone to line up the placement. Isn't that so cool? Oh my goodness, like that is amazing technology, my friends. I'm going to take some scissors and trim away the excess fabric here, just like a regular applique, right? Now I can do this because it's right down here at the bottom. Once I get up higher in the hoop, I might have to remove the hoop from the machine. But for right now, I'm good to do this. Okay, just trim, trim, trim. Okay, the next one is we're going to set down some strawberries. All right, so let's take a look at which ones those are going to be. That's going to be the dark pink. Yeah, but you know, when you think about trying to get perfect placement, isn't that the part that can be sometimes the most frustrating for any of us who are machine embroidering, right? It's one of those things that if you don't get something exactly placed in the hoop perfectly, or even, I mean, heaven forbid, and this happens at times when a project you're working on can pop out of the hoop. I mean, you might think that all hope is lost to try and get it right back to the same position again, but you don't have to worry about that when you have like a camera, whether it's built in like on the Solaris, or if you have the app, which you do on the Meridian and the Altair. Okay, I'm going to take my pink fabric and I'm going to place it over top of those strawberry outlines. It's just one big long piece right there. Just hold it down. If you need to, you can place a little piece of Kimberbell paper tape there. I think that's a little overkill. Sometimes I just like to hold on to it for just a second while the machine catches, and then I just move my hand away. Okay. Let's see. Jane was reminded of her machine and all the things it can do. Absolutely, Jane. Sometimes we take for granted some of the really cool things a machine can do, and it's nice to be reminded. I totally would agree with you on that. Yes, and Jamie, I thought of you last night, Jamie, when Denise was talking, because I know she was talking about you, and the two of you have become the best of friends. And it's pretty cool because you met through my girlfriend's quilt shop, and to me, that is so rewarding to see that connection come together. And now those two are inseparable. They do everything together, and they stitch together, they sew together every week. And I mean, what a blessing. That's pretty amazing. I love hearing that. All right, so that one has now finished stitching. I'm ready to take my little snips here, and I'm going to trim away the excess. I think I am going to remove this hoop though, because I do have a few more curves to go around, right? So I'm going to bring that right back over to my cutting station and just quickly trim away the excess. Now, these outlines I did in black, and that's okay because these strawberries are actually covered up with a satin stitch. So the other colors of thread that I choose will actually cover entirely over the black, so you don't have to worry about that. However, I make mention of that because if you were to do a design, Kimberbell often has designs that have like a decorative stitch on them rather than a satin stitch. If that's the case, then you definitely want to use the same color thread on that tack down if it was a decorative stitch. Okay. All right, it's going to do a few more strawberries, so let's slide back over here and get my hoop put into the machine and do this, okay? So again, this is doing the placement outline for my next set of strawberries. And that is going to be this nice little peach color right here. All righty, let's see. Cindy said it reminded her that she needed a refresher on IQ design. Yes, Cindy, and I'm so excited to let you know that we have some even more classes coming out here on IQ with Lisa and Rebecca. Will both be teaching those, and I think they're going to do a great job. Okay, so this has been stitched out. I'm ready to put the little bit lighter peach on now and stitch that. All right, Janet, let's see what you have to say. I have Epic 2, getting Epic 3. Oh, congratulations, Janet. That's awesome. That's a great machine too. But I still learned so much from you. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. I know I'm not talking about the Epic. So I always feel bad when, you know, there's machines out there that I don't know very well. But I'm so glad that you're still able to find value in what we share. So that makes me happy. Thank you, Janet. All righty. This one I think I'm going to take out of the machine as well and trim along. All righty, there we go. I'm going to slide right on over. I'm kind of digging this sliding right on over, right, Abby? In our old studio, we have carpet, and it was always quite the sight to see when Kris had to scooch herself over to the other side of the cutting table, right? Yeah, so having this wood floor makes it very, very, very nice. It slides like butter, she says. That's right. All right, here we go. Okay, so got that one done. Shall we do another set of strawberries because that was so much fun? Let's do it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, this next one is going to be a pink color. It's just, again, a few quick little shapes here that we're going to be cutting out here in just a minute. So I don't know if anyone's watching who has never done applique before. Let me know in the comments. I mean, my guess is that if you're watching right now, you probably have, and you're probably doing Quilting Through the Seasons, but you never know. There might be someone on here that's never seen how an embroidery machine even works. So, okay, I'm going to take this pink fabric and place it right over top. Put down and go. Yay, Kathleen says she needs to finish the 2 4 patches and she will be ready to assemble the basic quilt. That's like standing ovation time, Kathleen. If no one else cheers for you, here I am. I'm cheering for you, friend, because that is no small feat. We all know that, right? This is a big project, no doubt. But oh, the feeling of accomplishment when you get it done. It's incredible. Good job. Good job. Oh, that's an exclamation point. Boom, boom. Go, Kathleen. Ready? Okay. Give me a K. K. There's your cheer, Kathleen. Love you too, girlfriend. Love you too. All right. So, okay, we're ready to take this one out, bring it over here. Oopsies, my thread got caught there. All right. Let's do this. Trim, trim, trim. All right. Little trim here and a trim there. Here, trim, there, trim, everywhere, trim. Oh, you know, if sometimes I crack myself up and other times I go, you are the biggest dork. And that's okay too. All right, there we go. Oh my goodness, so stinking cute. All right, we've got one final applique that's going to go down, and this one is in yellow. We've got some lemons. I don't know, something funky happened with my thread here. I need to, there we go. Get rid of that. Let's slide this baby in. And the outline for the lemons is ready to go. All right. Sonia really needs to learn the Altair too. Sonia, that is an amazing machine you have. Let us help you figure it all out. We've got classes coming up on all the things. We're going to continue doing videos. And, you know, this is one of the reasons why we put together even this set here, is because we want to be able to just continue to provide the best education we can out there. And you can count on that with all of the machines that we will be teaching classes on. Okay. All right. This one is about done. There we go. And I'm going to place my yellow fabric right there. Yay, Mary! Okay, Mary, I'm so happy to hear this. She says, I've never done applique before, so she's loving the instructions. That makes me so happy, because sometimes I also think to myself, oh, everybody knows how to do this, right? And then I have to remind myself that maybe that's not the case. I mean, I think we've all been there before, that, you know, we started where you are at right now, where we didn't know about applique, or we didn't know how to do freestanding lace or all the fun things you can do. And so that's why we continue doing the classes. And I'm so glad that you're learning and that you're with us. Thank you. Okay. Isn't it fun too, Mary, that you can have the outline? Okay. So, you know, I'll take a moment to talk about this while this is stitching out. A basic applique consists of 3 parts. You have one, the placement stitch. The placement stitch is telling you this is where you put your fabric. But the nice thing is you don't have to worry about where does the fabric, do I have to pre-cut the fabric? Do I have to have it be exact? No, you don't have to do that, because you can see here that I actually just, you know, put a square piece of fabric over top of my placement line. And as long as it was over the top, the placement line, as you can see here, then you're good. You don't have to cut out all of those beforehand. So placement line is the first part of an applique. The second part is what's called the tack down stitch. And the tack down stitch is just like it says, it's tacking your fabric down. It's holding it in place, right? And then when you take it out of the machine, and the machine is going to automatically stop for you because it's been digitized to stop right after that. And then you get to trim the excess like I'm doing right here. And then after that, it goes back and it does the satin stitch. And, you know, depending on, you know, the digitizer, sometimes they do the satin stitch right away. Sometimes they wait until the very end to do all the satin stitches at the same time, which is the way I prefer doing appliques, because then I can keep the same thread color in as much as I can for as long as I can without having to switch colors, right? So I will have to switch colors as soon as it comes time to doing the finish on the lemons and the strawberries and so forth. All right. So those are the 3 steps of an applique. You've got 1, placement, 2, tack down, and 3, satin. All right. Trim. Okie dokie. Let's take a look at our instructions again. I am now on page 70, if you're following along with us. And the next step, it says to stitch the seeds and lemon details. Now, I want you to also pay close attention right here, because the nice thing that Kimberbell has done for us is they have set out what thread colors that they recommend. So they would do white, pink and a little bit peachy color and a little bit different color here. Now, obviously you can do whatever colors you want, but these are some suggestions, and I love, love, love that they do that. I'm going to go ahead and stick with their suggestion on the white, I believe, for the seeds and lemon details. So let's go ahead and put this back to the machine here, and I'm going to switch out for a white thread color, which I don't know if I grabbed a white thread color. I might have to go behind myself and grab that. So I might have one in my drawer, but oh, I sure do. Thanks, Miss Abby. All right. I do have some white in my thread drawer. Boy, did you see speaking of thread drawer, did you see the Koala Studio we showed last night? Holy smokes, I want one of these in my home. I don't right now. I do want one. That's the goal, because that thread drawer coming out was so cool. All right, let's go ahead and do that. And okay, let's stitch that out. This is going to take just a minute, so be patient. But it's now going to stitch out in white all the different details, okay? So let me know if you've got any questions. Oh, I love that. Kim said that she's so glad she bought her Altair because it's changed embroidery for her. And, you know, that is so, so true. And, you know, last night I was talking about, you know, my frustration sometimes, at times in the past when I didn't have as great a tools as I would have wanted, right? And while I was very grateful for those tools, I was very grateful for that sewing machine or that embroidery machine I had, I knew that one day I'd want a different machine that would give me less frustration and better results, right? And so everyone's got to start somewhere with that, right? But it is nice to know that sometimes with the right tools, it can make all the difference in your experience in the sewing room, for sure. Yeah, Cindy says, I know how you can get one. I know, I need a condensed mic. Cindy, maybe you can talk to him. No, he's so good to me. If I said, Mike, I'd really like that, he'd probably say, all right, let's figure out how we can get you one. But I'm kind of a low maintenance gal. What can I say? All right. This is going to take a minute of doing. There's a lot of seeds on this puppy. So let's, while that's stitching out, let's head back over here to the cutting table, shall we? Let's go through together what's going to happen. And I am on page 70, okay, step number 16. And what is happening right now is it's stitching the seeds and the lemon details, okay, and that's in white. Then it's going to do the satin outlines for the strawberries and for, like, there's 3 different sets of strawberries. You saw me talk about that. And so I've pulled these 2 colors together, and then I also have a light pink as well. And so these are the ones that I'm going to use, so the pink. I also have set aside some of my green threads for when it comes time to doing the stems. And so, or the little leaves at the stem, I should say, little strawberry tops. And having 2 different colors for that is good. And then we are going to be using cork fabric as well when it comes time to doing the little crate. So I'm going to use this dark brown color for that. Cindy, you're so funny. No, it's all good. I love you. All right, so we're going to let that stitch out. How are we doing on time? Let's see, we're at a little over an hour so far. Okay, so we have just about, we're trying to keep these to under 2 hours. So we've got some time. If you've got questions, let me know. sometimes these are just a little bit longer stitch outs. It's actually one of the reasons why we chose to do like a pre-recorded on the base quilt, and then we thought we would focus in on the embellishments kind of 1 week at a time. So, but yeah, let me know if you've got questions. While that is working, let me think, what could I show you? Let me grab, I'm gonna grab real quick the winter, okay, for just a moment. My winter one is almost done. You can see here that I have 2 long borders, 2 short borders, has that cute snowflake going across, you know, just such a fun design, right? And you're going to have some white leather. These are going to be your skates. This little mylar here is going to be for the bottoms of the skates. I've got all my fabric ready to go. I think what's going to happen, I wonder what do you guys think if I were, I wonder if I can pull something off here right now. Kind of thinking on the spot. Basically, from this point forward, it's just your basic appliqué, right? I think because it's so basic, this appliqué, I think you're going to be fine to continue on to those next steps. Let me know in the comments if you're not, or if you have any questions. I'm happy to go back over them. But I think I'd really like to kind of talk you through the skates, if you don't mind. So if we just kind of stop the machine, I can go back to it later to finish up this block. But I do want to be able to talk and spend a little bit of time on the skates. What do you guys think of that? Is that okay with you? Let me know. Because yeah, this is going to stitch out for a little bit longer. Okay, Jane says the skates would be great to see. Yeah, I really am thinking it. So let me just let me finish off by saying this about the strawberries and lemons. You're gonna just continue on with those same instructions as far as changing thread colors. All right, so our thread color is going to change for the outlines of the strawberries, lemons, the little green tops. The seeds are in white, all of that. And you just continue with that until the very end. And then when you're at the very end, simply take these little borders that we created earlier and just put right sides together. You're going to change over to your sewing machine, put right sides together. You stitch on the 2 short sides first, and then you add on the 2 long sides. And it's really easy peasy, promise. Okay. But I want to talk about the skates, and I want to talk about the buttonholes. Okay. So Jo Marie has a question. She says, I always wonder about bobbin thread. Do you change it out or use a white? Jo Marie, that is such a fantastic question. My recommendation is to always use white, with one exception. If you're going to see the behind the project, for example, like a 3-dimensional project, let's say, then you definitely want to use the same color thread in the top as well as in the bobbin, okay? Because it's 3-dimensional, you're going to see both sides. Definitely use the same color thread. If for everything else, you can see what I've done today. I've never switched out the thread color in the bobbin. For all the steps that I've been doing, when I start doing the satin stitches, it's all going to stay white. If your machine is working at its best and it's not having tension issues, then you won't have any problem with seeing the bobbin thread come up from the bottom. All right. If you've got issues with that, then that's a whole nother thing where you'll want to take it in to get service and such. But if you don't see that bobbin thread coming through the top, you're going to be just fine. And the white stays on the bottom. All right. Does that make sense? I hope so. That's a really, really good question. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to, let's go look at our book. All right. Let's go through this together. And let's see. Where did I put the winter? Okay, winter. This is the large winter panel. It's found on page 74. So if you're following along with me on page 74. Now, let's take a look up here. The large winter panel. It's made up of 2 parts. Okay, this has nothing to do with these. Okay, these were the little borders, and this was done completely separate. Completely. All right. What we're talking about now is the center design with the ice skates. All right. But unlike the strawberries and unlike these guys, this one is done in 2 hoopings. Okay. So this one hoop, 1 hoop. The strawberry lemonade, 1 hoop. Okay. This one on the winter large panel, it's in 2 hoops, and it's going to knock your socks off with why this is the case. All right, so I'm going to set these aside. Again, these were done separately. If you're just joining us, make sure and go back to the beginning of the video once this has been posted, because it's on a replay if you want, and see how these little guys come together. All right, so part A is embroidering the skates leather. Part B is embroidering the panel. Well, what are they talking about, right? What are they talking about? They're talking about pulling out this white leather, and we're making the skates first. All right, so in order to do that, let's see, I need a wash away stabilizer. Okay, this is really important. Part A, wash away. So let me come over here, and I'm going to go ahead and stop my machine where it's at. I'm also going to take note. Now, this is a good lesson for everyone too. If you find yourself needing to stop somewhere in the middle, take note of what number on the stitching it is. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Let me find a little piece of paper. Now, if you're still on the same design and you wanted to walk away for a while, you could even turn off, if you're on a baby lock, you could even turn off your machine and it would come right back to the very same place as you ended, even if you're in the middle of a design. Now, how cool is that? Because not all machines can do that. However, on this one, I need to write down the number because I'm completely coming out of this design and I'm bringing on a whole new design. All right, so that's why I'm writing down my number. If you're wondering where the number can be found, let's take a look at my machine screen right here. And you're going to be able to see it right here. Okay, this is the total number of stitches, is this number. This is what stitch number I'm on. So for me right now, I'm on 6030 out of 15,000 stitches. Do you see why I decided to stop midway through this and move on to a different design? Because I really want to talk about the skates, right? So, but I want to make sure I know where I'm at when I return to this design later on today. So I'm going to write down the number 6030 on a little piece of paper here so I don't forget. And then that way, when I'm ready, and see, I just put it right there. I just, right there. There we go. I just wrote down the number. So when it's time to go back, I can do that. Good idea, Joanna. You can even take a quick photo of the screen with your phone for stitch count. You know, why didn't I think of that? That's brilliant. Then I wouldn't have to be searching for a pen and paper. Brilliant idea, Joanna. Okay. Don't do what I just did. Do what Joanna says. Take a picture with your phone. Brilliant. All righty. Okay, let's pull this one out and let's bring up the skates. All right. And remember when I accidentally took the wash away stabilizer and mixed it up with the light mesh cutaway? Well, I'm going to use this guy again because even though I stitched on it, it's fine because it's going to wash away. Anyway, I'm going to use it. So I'm going to plug this in. plug it in. What does that sound like? All right, let me go back to home. Here we go, go. Embroidery. And I'm just bringing up my design here on the screen. Okay, this looks a little funky. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw this design, I was like, what the what? What is that? Are we talking little feet? What are we talking about right here, right? No, these are going to be your ice skates, and that is where the laces are going to go. And you're going to be like, I have no idea what's happening here, Kris. And you know what? You wouldn't be alone, because I've heard this a few times now. Trust the process. Trust the process, folks. Okay, let's take a look together. If you're with me, I'm on page 74. I have hooped wash away stabilizer. And I've gone to part A. There we go. Okay. What I need to do first is I need to stitch the skate placement outline. So I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down. Oh, finish editing. I'm done. I need to embroider. There we go. All right. Foot down. And this is going to stitch out. Now, once that's done stitching out, I'm going to place the leather right side up, and then it's going to stitch the tack down and trimming lines and eyelets, all the things it's going to stitch out for me. All right, so let's take a look here with, oh, you know what I want to do? I'm going to change my thread color to black. You guys need to see this a little bit better. So let me quickly do that. Dee, you're right. She says it's always good to write that number down, even though Baby Lock will return to that number. It's just called insurance. Exactly. That is so true. All right. All righty, let's see. Okay, I'm going to go back. Let's go to my machine if this happens to you. I want to make sure everyone knows how to get in and out of where they're going. All right, I'm just going to go ahead, and there's a plus minus button right here with a needle, and I'm just going to go backwards. So now I'm on one of two steps. Okay, so very, very simple. All right, here we go. This is going to stitch the placement line for my leather, okay? And now this time it's in black. You're gonna be able to see it a little better, right? Now, I will tell you that Kimberbell does recommend that you use white thread on this. You certainly could. I'm going to do black thread, all right? And this one, okay, you know what? I do want to show you something here. We are so used to having plenty of wiggle room here. Let's see if we can get a shot right over here. Okay, there we go. And never mind this one. Remember, that was my oopsies earlier. This is exactly the same size as this. So on this one, I think I am going to use a little bit of paper tape. I don't know, you know, as we're talking about insurance, that might not be a bad idea. So I'm just going to put a quick little piece of paper tape here just to hold it there. Okay, a little boom, boom there and boom, boom there. All right. Kate has a good question. She's asking if I changed my needle for the leather. No, I did not. Now, and usually, Kate, I really don't. When it comes to this Kimberbell leather, it is so soft and smooth. I haven't found really, truly any issues with using it, using the needle I'm on. So no, I probably wouldn't take the time to do that. Now, obviously, if you're having issues with, you know, thread breakage, needle breakage, anything like that, then yeah, definitely I would do that. But this is such a small project. It's not thick leather. It's very thin, very pliable. I haven't seemed to find any issues with it. That's a great question. I love it. Love when you guys ask. All right, so we're going to watch that stitch out for a minute. And as you can see, it's doing the little eyelets here. And this is where we're going to lace our ribbon right through, which is pretty dang cool. And this is the only step we really have on this. It's pretty straightforward, but it is going to give us some outlines of what to of where to trim, which is nice. Okay, so how are we doing so far? Is everyone catching what's happening and what's going on here? Let me know if you've got questions. You know, somebody had mentioned earlier, like how well the pictures were in the book, and it's so true. Like, I just don't want this to, you know, intimidate you, because truly Kimberbell does take you step by step on how each part of this is done, and the pictures really tell the story. So as long as you just, you know, take a deep breath and you go, oh, okay, oh, that's what's next. Oh, okay, I got this. I can do this. I can do that. This is exactly what it looks like in the picture. And all of these designs have been tested out on every machine out there. I don't know if you knew that, but Kimberbell has every single brand of machine, one machine from every brand in their production room. And that is phenomenal for being able to test out and make sure that these work across all the different formats. It's pretty amazing. So know that these things have been well tested, and just trust the process. That's something I've learned. Okay, so there's a lot of times I go, I wonder why they want us to do that. Do they really? Do I need to? And then usually I learn, yeah, Kris, just trust the process, learn, it's fine. And that works really well. So it always works out. Always, always, always. Okay, so let's take a look back down here at the hoop. What's happening here? We just stitched out the eyelets, and now it's doing this outline. And what this outline is it's really going to be where we're trimming the skates up. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. So let's see what happens here. There we go. All right, and then that's it. This design is now officially over. All right, I love that sound. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back over. And let's see. What scissors do I want to use for this? I think I'll go ahead and use this. So I'm going to use duckbills on this one. Let's take a look at what's happening here. All right, it tells us, I'm on page 74, if you're following along. Stitch the skate tack down trimming lines. Yep, done that. Remove the project from the hoop. Trim the leather along the trimming lines, cutting off the trimming line stitching as you go. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove this from the hoop. And I'm just going to trim directly on these lines. And I think on this one, I'm going to change out my scissors. I'm going to use these nice little micro tip scissors right here. And I'm going to cut right along that stitch line. And essentially, you're cutting the thread off. So that's why, you know, they suggest white, but you know what? this black is really nice to be able to see what I'm doing and where I'm going. So I don't think that's such a bad idea either. Okay, I've got that one done. And now I've got one more to go. Again, just directly on that line. Some of that thread is just going to fall right off of the leather. All right, there we go. Pretty funky, right? Okay, now it also tells us to trim the excess stabilizer to the edges of the leather. So this is the leather piece. We're going to keep it the way it is, but we're just going to trim off the remaining stabilizer. And we don't have to trim from behind. We're just going just right up to it, right? I think I'm actually going to switch out for my rotary cutter here. There we go. There. There we go. Okay. See? It looks kind of weird, doesn't it? You're going to be like, wait a minute, what is happening? What's happening? All right. So we trimmed the excess stabilizer to the edge of the leather. And now it tells us to dissolve the remaining stabilizer in cool water for 20 seconds, lay the project flat, allow it to dry. Using an awl or other sharp tool, poke a hole inside of each eyelet and then set the skates aside. Okay, so what is happening here is this is where, and if I was at, near a sink, I would do it, but I'm not going to take the time to do that right now. But what I could do, I am going to just do a little trim here. Okay. Really quick, no big deal. And then the rest of that you can just dissolve in cool water. It's going to just dissolve away in about 20 seconds or less. And frankly, if you didn't even want to do that, there's really not much of that stabilizer left in there. I wouldn't even worry about it too much. All right, so we've got these little skates done, mostly. And now it says to use an awl or, some kind of sharp tool. So what would I use? Well, I should have grabbed something, and I don't think I've got one handy, but and a lot of sewing machines will come with an awl. A lot of times people don't know exactly what an awl looks like or what it does, or maybe they see it in their sewing repertoire and they're like, what is that? Usually I know on the Baby Lock ones, they're orange, and it's just like this little metal cylinder that you just put right on and give it a little hammer and it pokes the hole right through. It works out really well if you have it. If you don't, there's other ways you can do this. And let me show you how I'm going to do mine. I'm going to use my little micro tip scissors right here. And I'm just going to fold that in half. And can we get up close on that one? There we go. All right. So we're just, again, this is the easiest way I've found to just kind of get a little snip right into there. And I'll take my little scissors here and just do a little snip like that. All right. With that done, then I'm able to get in there and I just do a really, really tight little cut. And even if you weren't to be able to get a perfect circle, it's okay. And you know why? Because you're going to have this black ribbon that is going to be strung through there later. All right. And all of this is going to be covered up. So I don't want you to worry about having this be perfect. Now I'm going to take the edge of these scissors and I'm also going to just poke them in like there and just do a little twisty twist. All right. That's just, again, just kind of opened up that hole a little bit more for me. All right. Okay. So one is done. And then I can take the second one again and do the same thing. Now, as you're doing this, I want you to just like be filled with gratitude. Okay, just kind of go to that Zen place. I don't want you to think, oh my goodness, this is such a pain in the patoozie. No. You're going to be filled with gratitude instead. And you're going to say, Look at all the fun that I get to do. I get to do machine embroidery. I am able to enjoy this process of learning something new. I'm able to do something that I would have never otherwise known that I was able to do. Those are the things that we should be telling ourselves instead of, oh my goodness, this is going to take me forever and this is such a pain and all the things, right? Is anyone with me on that? All right. So this is what I want you to do, because yeah, it is a little tedious, but it's not terrible. And look at the enjoyment that this is going to be, that's bringing to us right now, as well as for years to come. That's the way I like to look at this kind of thing. Okay, so just continue to just snip away at this. Again, if you have an awl handy, if you've got that awl handy, you will be able to just do one little, hammer hit and you're golden, right? And it's just super, super easy. Ooh, Mary, that's not a bad idea. She asks, I wonder if a hole punch would work. Well, I think it would be worth a try for sure. I would test it out, Mary, on a little scrap first before you do it, because you don't want your holes to be too close together, or else, that ribbon's not going to be, it's just going to come right through. So you want to be a little mindful of that. But it's definitely worth a try for sure. So just continue that step through both sides. All right. How are we doing on time? About 15 more minutes? Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Any questions up to this point? Yeah, I love that. Barbara says, enjoy the process. I couldn't agree more with you, Barbara. That is with absolute certainty, I would say that. All right, friends, let's go back. Let's pretend that I have all of that cut out. In fact, I might ask Abby, do you want to help me out with something, my friend? Come on over, girl. She's looking at me like, what? I'm going to bring on a special guest. By the way, we also have Stephen behind the camera today, who's also helping out. So shout out to both of these, because these peoples are amazing. Get on over here, girl. Okay. Would you mind, while I'm setting up for the next hooping, would you just do a little cut in each of those holes for me? Okay, you're awesome. Okay, so she's going to do that. She's going to bring a chair over. And yeah, the OSD punch, that would be a great idea as well. Yeah, super idea. Okay, she's going to cut those out for me. I'm going to hoop my 5x7 hoop. I have moved on to page 75 in the instruction manual. We're going to pull up large panel winter B together. All right, so let's go over to the machine and do that. I can go ahead and get out of this one right there. Hit OK. And we're going to go to embroidery. Going to click on my USB. Let's see where that is. Okay. This is Katie 815 5x7 large and set and embroidery. Okay. So let's see. I need a 5x7 hoop. I need a 5x7 hoop here. And I'm going to, you know what I have? This is like the coveted item. Because you can't get these anymore unless you have some in your stash like I do. And that is the pre-cuts. I'm going to use a pre-cut for this one right here. This is the light mesh cutaway that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to quickly hoop that in there, just like that. All right, and that's hooped and ready to go. Okay, good enough. Bring my chair right back over. All right, so let's go ahead and place that in the machine. Press your foot down. This is going to do a placement line for where to place my batting. Okay, so we're starting out just like usual. All right. Oh, Lynn, my friend. Oh, lots of prayers going your way, my friend, because I know lots of people are praying for you and pulling for you. We love you. Hang in there. You got this. You got this. She's still at the Vera Hospital. She hasn't been doing well, and we are praying for you, Lynn. Okay, here's our batting. I'm going to just place that over top, and we'll do the tack down stitch now. Okay. You found the awl. Where did you find it? Well, I couldn't remember. Okay, I got to show you the cool awl because Abby found it. No wonder you got done with that so quickly. I'm like, dang, girl, you're already done? Oh, there you go. How funny. Okay, I'm going to go show you the awl because that really is. If you've got one of these in your repertoire, then you're going to be golden. You're going to love it. And like I said, you could give it a little punch with a hammer, or you could even twist it and it works well too. Is that what you did?
I did it just with my hand and it worked great.
Yeah. Okay, let's come over here. Abby to the rescue. All right. Okay, so Abby, here we go. This is what she did. This is the awl I was talking about earlier, guys. You see it? This little orange guy. Some of you may have this and have wondered, what in the world is that? Yeah, this is an awl. So, in fact, look how much nicer her holes are. I don't know if you can tell, but her holes are much, much nicer than mine.
And you can even out some of yours.
And then you just, yeah, we can. Let's even out some of mine. You just do like a little twisty twist here. Just pushing down, and look how easy that is. So much easier. Okay, what do you guys think? Are you going to be all people? Yeah, Charlene says that came with her machine. Exactly. Some machines come with it, some don't. So if you have one, definitely use it because that is a great way to go. Thanks, Abby. All right. Let's hear it for the girl. All right, here we go. I'm going to use this. You guys, if you've been in classes with me, you know that I always have a song. A song in my heart. All right. I wish you were here, truly, truly with me so that we could just talk together because I just feel like I'm talking to myself. And that's just weird. All right, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to come right back over here. It is all that. Oh, yay. Jamie says, oh, she has one and she didn't know that's what it was for. Yes, ma'am. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Grab my book here. I'm not. You're listening to me. Thanks, Jamie. All right. We have just a few minutes left of time. I hope we can get through to the next part. We may have to go over just a minute, but we'll do our best. Okay. So now I'm going to place my background fabric over top. There we go. And stitch that down. Because I really want you to see how these skates go on. It's just amazing, amazing, amazing. All right. And this is also going to do background quilting. So I'm going to go grab some blue thread to do that. Charlene said she used the awl to do the lights in her bench pillows. Yes, yes, and yes. That it really it really does come in handy. That's for sure. All right, let's go ahead and get this threaded real quick. See how fast this is to thread. Fastest threader in the West. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Pew, pew. All right, let's see. Here we go. Any other comments, questions? Oh, and Jamie, yeah, there we go. Lynn, love them. Jane, good question. I found my awl. What is the hole towards the bottom for? You know what? I can't remember off the top of my head, actually. Can anyone tell me? Part of me wants to say it's for holding a needle. Am I right on that? If you're replacing a needle, you can have, but I think it looks too big. You know, I honestly don't remember. Anyone tell me? Maybe it's just to punch out whatever goes in there. I don't know. Maybe someone out there knows. Maybe someone out there is smarter than I am, which would not be hard. What is that bottom for? I know there's got to be a reason. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. That was to punch out fabric? I don't think so, Barbara. I think just the very bottom is, but what? Okay, now I'm really wondering what she's talking. This one at the very bottom is to punch out the fabric, but what is this guy for? Right there. Can someone fill me in on that one? I honestly don't remember. This at the bottom is to punch out. Let me put it up to right there. That one's to punch out. But what is this little guy for? I'm curious. Inquiring minds want to know. All right. We're almost done with that. The hole holds what it punches out. Okay. Cleaned out stuck fabric. There we go. All right. That would make sense to me because, yes, that would make sense to me. Because there is a little, that fabric goes into that tiny thing and then you need a way for it to get out. So you're probably right. That's what it is. That makes sense. Okay. See, I knew you guys would know. All righty. I'm going to, I really want to get to this next part. Yeah, it makes sense, right? So you get the fabric out of the bigger hole. Okay. Perfect. All right. I am doing right now the outline for the blade. The blade. There we go. And we're going to trim that baby up too. Okay. Now, we have 2 pieces of blade fabric here. Ooh, shiny. All right. We're going to place that there. If you want, you could put some paper tape. I'm just going to kind of hold on to it while it begins, and then I'll let it go. Okay, so that's stitching out. Now, remember, this tack down stitch is the final stitch on this. So you want to make sure you could use a silver thread. I'm using a black thread. That works too. Oh, that's what Barbara meant. Okay, you are absolutely right then, Barbara. It's for after the fabric is cut. Yes, for sure. Okay, look at this. Look at this. You can actually tear this away if you want to. Do I dare? Yes, I dare. Okay, you don't have to even trim it. This just kind of peels away if you're very careful. Aha. Yes, I love that. Okay, now it's going to do the placement line for the second blade. All right, and we'll do the same thing again. So again, just remember this is not going to have cover stitches on it. So you got to choose a thread color that works with this. Mine is black and it looks pretty good. So, okay, we have that one. And now I'm going to take this and place it over top and begin. We're almost done. Oh, you know what? Sorry, Abby, I forgot to trim my stabilizer here so that the camera could see it. All right. There we go. Again, I'm just very carefully pulling this away. You can also cut it if you want to. Okay, so there we go. I can do a little bit of, you know, a little more work on that if I wanted to. Okay, guys, this is the part I've been waiting for. This is the placement line of where we are going to place these skates. And I'm going to actually take it out of the machine so you can see more up close when this happens, all right? So it's going to stitch the skate placement line, and then these are the stitches. They're going to be removed later, so you don't have to worry about that. We're going to place the skates leather from part A right side up, align the cut curves with the placement line, tape in place. Okay, and then we'll come over here. We're getting super close to the end of our time together, but I want to make sure that everyone feels good about where we're at, all right? So notice that you've got these placement lines right here. What you're going to do is remember the leather that we did in part A? Holy smokes, folks. Look at this. Look at that. All we have to do is line this curve up with this curve. Now, how did Kimberbell think of that? I mean, seriously, give me a break. This is so amazing. So truly, this is what we do. It just blows me away. So curve matches up with the curve of that line. Curve matches up with the curve of this line. And now we just do what they tell us and we tape this in place. Okay, this is the right side of the leather is facing up. All right, so I've got it tape here, tape there. And then I'm going to stitch the tack down line, and then I've got to trim my edges. So let's get through that. And we are super close to being done. I know, it's brilliant, right, Jane? Oh, amazing. When I did the first one of this, and this was months ago that I had put this together for the sample, right? And I called Kim on the phone and I said, Kim, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. I can't believe you guys were able to put this together. And of course, you know, she is always she's the first to give all the credit where credit's due. And she did a big shout out to her digitizers who had thought through this step. And it's pretty amazing. It really, really is. Now, again, I've used black. You could use white if you wanted to. Heck, you could use neon green if you wanted to, right? You make the skates fit you and your personality. But I think these are really, really a lot of fun. So let's see how these babies trim up here in just a moment. Okay. And then the rest is just filled stitches. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this out. And I want to direct your attention once again to the instructions on page 75. Let's see. We just stitched that. Okay. Trim the edges along the bottom of the skate boots close to the stitch line that's shown in red. And do not trim the curves cut in part A. So we're not going to trim that. Trim all other edges as desired. This is a raw edge applique and will not have additional cover stitches. All right, so let's take a look at that. Where did my scissors go? I think I want to use my little flexi snips on this one. All right, so I can cut right along the top here. And I'm just going to take that tape off. Okay, so right here. Remember, if you can't get a really good cut right now, do it the best you can. Trim up after it comes out of the hoop and you'll be just fine. All right. Okay, so we've got that. And then I just need to trim up along the red edges. Now, you're going to notice in your book that they don't have you trimming to a certain point, but let's do along the red here. Okay, look at this. It's incredible. Ta-da, my boots are taking place. My little ice skates, I should say. Okay, so there we go. And let me make sure where we're at. All right, yeah, no, I can go right along here. What it's saying is you don't need to worry about anything further along that curve, okay? All right, friends, now, this is the last thing I want to share, okay, because I know you've got it from here. All you're going to do from here is you'll put it back into the machine and it will do, let's take a look right down here. Okay, all it's going to happen is it's going to do a filled stitch right along the bottom of your ice skate. So I would choose black, I would allow it to stitch out, and that's all there is to it. That's all I have to do. And then this one is basically going to be done. Now, also, we're going to, let's see, what else did I want to say about that? Yeah, just follow the instructions as it's outlined in the instruction book. You will end up taking your ribbon and actually just stringing it through there, and it has step-by-step directions on how to lace those the ribbon up the ice skate. I mean, it's amazing. And what a cute design. And it's even cuter when we add the sides, because when it's all done, you're going to just sew this one here, this one on this side, up top and on the bottom, and then you have the perfect little panel. So very fun. Now remember, your black ribbon came in your embellishment kit. All right, so you don't have anything to worry about with that. It's all there provided for you. Woo! Okay, we did it. Wow, that was a lot. How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? You feeling good about this? Some of you might be done. Some of you might not have even started, but you've got this. I know you've got this. You can do this. It's so fun. Enjoy the process. That's the most important thing. Don't be in such a rush that you end up like just becoming frustrated. Just enjoy it. Like every day and every time you get to sit down at your embroidery machine, think to yourself, this is so cool. I get to do this for fun, right? Oh, quick tips on buttonholes. Thank you, Kate. I almost forgot. I appreciate you bringing that up. Buttonholes, so simple. Basically, this is what's going to happen. You're going to hoop, grab this. You're going to hoop some sticky back tearaway or wash away, either one. Let me see if I've got some handy. Yeah. And I'm going to show you something here. I actually like to pull this apart. If any of you have watched me hoop sticky back before, this is how I do it. I actually pull the whole thing back like a sticker and just place that baby right on top, okay? There we go. Boom. My hoop is hooped, but I'm not putting it in the hoop, and then I just bring this up. Now this is, you know, you don't have to do it this way. This is just a Kris preference, right? Now, what happens, wonder if I've got my black marker. Where did I put that? Oh my goodness gracious, you guys, this place is a disaster. You should see this. All right. You're welcome to take let's do an up top view of the mess that Kris has created here. Because it's a mess. Look at this place. Oh my goodness. I don't know where my black marker went. I want to show you something. Well, you know what? This is what I'll do. Let's go over back to the machine real quick, okay? I think I've got buttonholes loaded in here. Let me go to OK, embroidery, bum, 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 bum. You're awesome, Abby. Okay. Oh, yes, I do have buttonholes. Okay, so buttonholes right here. You're going to see that these are going to come up in all four corners, right? Set, embroidery, boom. Now, I don't know how well you can see this, and I'm going to draw it for you because Abby just handed me a marker. I'm going to draw it for you on here. It's going to stitch this line, and this tells me where to place my little panel, right? So back over here, if I were doing this on the embroidery machine, it would stitch this out all by itself. There would be a placement line just like that. Well, guess what, folks? All you got to do, let me take this one for example. You're not going to do buttonholes until everything has been sewn together. All right, buttonholes are very, very last. And so you're going to add on, I should mention this, you do have 2 pieces of fabric. That's for your backing. You want to hem one side of each long side, okay, because we're doing an envelope closure. So you do that, poke your holes out, all the things. Buttonholes come at the very end. Now, this is what's just the coolest thing ever. What Kimberbell has done is that they have put sticky back, tear away, wash away, doesn't matter, in here, stitches out a placement line. Look at that. All you have to do is you line up the top left corner right there. And guess what? It's going to now stitch out your buttonhole. Now, how cool is that? Again, I mentioned this earlier, but you want to use the same color thread as what you're stitching on. So in this example, I want to make sure and use purple thread because I'm on the purple background. This example, I'd want to use mustard thread because I'm on the mustard background, right? Just so that it just kind of falls into place. So it's going to stitch that out. Then go ahead, take it off, all right? Keep your stabilizer in the hoop. You don't need to remove the hoop. You don't need to do a new hooping because guess what? The next stitch that's going to go is going to be your top right corner. And it's going to stitch out like that. And take a look. All I have to do is place my top right corner there. I mean, does that just blow you away? I don't know about you, but I was blown away. And because I'm using sticky back, it's going to stick right there. Just put it back into the machine. Again, it's going to stitch it out. Well, if you're following along, guess what's going to happen next? It's going to stitch out this corner. And guess which one I do? I now place this bottom right corner. Boom, bada, bang, boom, right there. And it's going to stitch out. And finally, we'll do the last corner. Now, here's something else that's really cool about this, okay? I put this one here, and it stitches out. This is what's really cool. When I pull away from this, and you know what? Actually, I'm going to change my mind on something. I'm going to say, now that I think about it, you probably don't want to use a wash away. You're going to want to use a sticky back tear away. And this is why. Okay, I'm glad that this just popped in my head. Because you want it to pull away. So let's go back here for just a second. This is going to create a little buttonhole right here. Well, when you pull that away, yeah, you don't want to use wash away. You got to use sticky back tear away, okay? When you pull away from that, guess what's going to be left? It's only a small little hole. That's it. That's going to be taken away. And now I can go to the next one, and that's going to stitch out this guy right here, right? And that gets done stitching out. and I pull it away, and what's left is a little hole. Well, this is what's really cool. You're going to love this. And talk about saving on sticky back tearaway, right? Because I can actually save all my buttonholes. If I were you, I wouldn't do any buttonhole until I'm done with all of the panels. I would be done with this panel. I would also be done with my smaller panels. These guys right here, it's the same thing. All I have to do is place that right there. It doesn't get any easier. Do this. Even though it has the hole right there, you can still place your panel right over top of it. It makes no difference whatsoever. Is that an aha moment for anyone watching? Because it was an aha moment for me when I was like, what? I can do what? I can use the same hooping, never change out the sticky back at all until I'm done with all of my panels. All of them, guys. All of them. So that is really cool. It's a great technique that Kimberbell has introduced to us. And frankly, you could use this same 4 buttonholes on anything you want. Truly. You come up with any design that you want to have buttons in and have them on the corners, use the same design. You can do it. It doesn't matter what it is. So yeah, Jane says she loves it. It saves time and stabilizer. Kim loves to save stabilizer. Cheryl, you're with me on that. It's pretty cool. So does that help? I hope that helps. All right, friends, this week, your challenge, if you choose to accept, before this message self-destructs, is to do this. I would like you to focus on just getting the panels done. All right, focus on getting the panels done of all 4 seasons. And I want you to do it for the small panels. I want you to do it for the large panels. Okay, both of those. And if you can do that, wow, that is an exclamation mark right there. What an accomplishment, right? So if you do that, post pictures. Even if you don't do it, post pictures of whatever you're working on, because we love to see them. We'd love to be inspired by them. Make sure and tag us on social media using the hashtag #MyGirlfriend'sQuiltShop. We would appreciate that. Also, hashtag Kimberbell, Kimberbell Designs or Kimberbell. Do a hashtag Quilting Through the Seasons. We'd love to be able to follow your progress. So that's the goal this week. Let's get our panels done. Next Friday, we're going to get together again, and we will work on the little pennants. Oh, the pennants. I know a lot of you have been fretting those. They're not that bad, I promise. And I'm going to take you step by step on how to do that. All right, friends, we went a little over time, but I hope you felt it was worth it. Thanks so much for being here and hanging out on this Friday afternoon. Happy Memorial Day weekend to all of you. Thank you for those of you who have served our country, whether it was you yourself or as a family member. It's all a sacrifice, and we love and appreciate you for it. So thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.